towards the screw presses. This screen is a 020 20 thousandths of an inch. It was just sprayed down within the last half hour, but the nature of the liquor, especially today, it wants to slide over. The other half of the flow was going across this screen. Instead, we're taking it through this fiber filter right here. This is the cake coming out. This cake is very dry, very granular. Machine's running in the almost horizontal position. We've got a lot of splashing going on. That is, we're taking at least 100, maybe 150 GPM and filtering it right now in this little machine. Okay, I took the cover off, and that's the inbound down there. Here's a discharge piece of screen. At the same time, we're still getting this very dry cake coming out. This shows the vibration, the capillary action, that liquid just flying through those fabrics. We're looking at a seam right there. That band is a seam. That's a critical design area. And on into the machine. There's a little more light. Anyway, that's what it looks like, and the whole while we have this dry cake coming out. You notice this one's set almost horizontal. That's because we're screening in the machine unscreened raw press liquor. Previously, this arrangement, we took the press liquor from this screen, and then pumped it in here. When we were filtering the pre-screened press liquor, we pumped it up with this pump and had it going in this particular hose. At that time, we had the machine at a much higher elevation. In fact, we were down at this last notch all the way up here. We were at a steep 30 degrees. But there was very little solids in that liquid. This tube comes from the bypass around the static screen. Here's the back of the other static screen. I'm going to pinch it way down and force the flow over to the fiber filter. I don't know if you can see the difference, but I've got the valve only open 2-3 notches, and the flow over here is increased. The cake's a little damper, and the amps have probably gone up from 10.5 to 11.5, maybe even 12. The motor is rated at 13 amps. This is a second machine just being installed right now, and it's going to discharge down into a conveyor that goes off to the presses. These two conveyors, left and right, incline screw conveyors, are going over to some presses. I'll take a little footage of those presses. Okay, press number 3. These are very old Vincent presses. They do have new gearboxes on them. We've replaced those one a year for the last 2 years. These are in the first pressing. Those two incline conveyors we're just looking at bring the peel up here, bring it into the 3 presses. It comes out, goes under the floor, it comes up here. Peel goes, that's press cake, and goes into 3 more presses for double pressing. 1, 2, and 3. And there's a typical press. This one's fairly new. I'll come over here. I can walk up and show you what the press liquor looks like. This is the liquor being screened upstairs at the fiber filter. So this is the press liquor that you saw both going across the static screen and through the fiber filter. This is another view of the fiber filter we were just looking at. You can see my cover's leaking because I didn't put the wing nuts back on. You can't hardly see that sludge coming out, but it's the same powdery material, very dry. And the one hose here, you can see is from bypassing the static screen, which is up there, the second machine being installed here. These sit up on a platform that's at the same level as the reaction conveyor. This conveyor right here is the reaction conveyor, and we are dumping the sludge from the fiber filters back into the reaction conveyor, or in the case of the second machine, into the inclined screw conveyor going to the presses. We wouldn't want to put that into the dryer. Here's the dryer, because if the machine trips out, that is if the fiber filter trips out, it will purge, and that would mean the press slicker would go straight into the dryer. That's why we have this arrangement of the sludge coming out, going into the reaction conveyor ahead of the presses. That's recording, there's service. Okay, this is Saturday, the 16th of January. Tape you're now looking at was spliced on, the previous tape was made 2 days ago. We're looking at the centrifuge there. We've since changed the rotor in this machine, and you'll see now the cake comes out quite a bit differently. It's a little more intermittent, and it's not nearly as dry. I'll catch a handful here. And this other machine is doing about the same. The reason for this change is important. We ran centrifuge tests on the liquid, and with the other rotor that was making the extremely dry cake, we found that we had a little higher suspended solids than we can achieve with this one. In other words, we were beating some of the solids through the fabric into the filtered liquid with the other rotor design. By having the sludge come out wetter like you see this, we have a higher capture rate of solids. There was a second reason for making the change. With the other rotor design, we found that you had to have it at one setting of elevation or speed for startup, and once you got it stabilized, you had to change the settings. These machines have been arranged so they operate at one setting, so there's no operator adjustment required when you shut down or start up the machine. There's one other thing worth noting on this new rotor design. The amps have gone down significantly. This machine is consistently operating now in the range of 6 to 7 amps, maybe as low as 5 and as high as 7.5 or 8. So that's a nice improvement attributable to the wetter sludge that we're producing now.